na programa ay rated G. Ito ay pwede sa lahat ng manonood.
Good evening and welcome to BizNews. I'm Elizabeth B. together with Tony Lopez.
Good evening, Beth.
Tonight we have for our guest the President of the Philippines, Mr. Partho Chakrabarti. How are you, Partho?
I'm good.
Thank you for being on our show.
You've been around since 2007 or 2006?
Yeah, end of 2006. When I came in.
So
I initially came in as the CFO and later became the president of the company.
Yeah. And how do you find the Philippines?
Oh, I enjoy the Philippines. It's a wonderful country. It's got a great consumption story, which is very relevant for our business.
Yeah.
And the people are great. And I must say I've enjoyed my six and a half years here. It's very easy to live in because people know English. There are shops and signage, signs and everything is in English. So it's very easy for a foreigner to adjust to the country.
So you'll be here for a generation. The Pepsi generation.
And Pepsi has been here for 67 years.
67 years, since the birth of Philippines.
So it's like a freedom drink.
Oh, well. But yeah, I think it was formed in 1946. I think one of the American soldiers here, he took the first franchise and he set up the company, and then of course it became very, very successful and a very big company. The story continues for 67 years.
In fact, they came out with coffee table to commemorate their 67 years of challenge in the Philippines.
Yes.
Yeah.
It shows our legacy in this country and our adventure and the future.
But Pepsi's actually been doing quite well under your leadership. It has tripled your profits last year, and you're doing quite well this year also for the first quarter.
Yeah. So last year, there were a couple of reasons. There are a couple of reasons.
Yeah, last year, 2012, you did 14% increase in revenues to 22 billion and 44% increase in gross profit to 5.2 billion. That's terrific.
Yeah, so there are two reasons for this. One is that you have to understand that we were coming from 2010 and 2011, where sugar prices really reached an all-time high in this country. And so a lot of that grounds, I think sugar price normalized last year. So that was one reason. And the second reason is we had terrific sales. We have, we sold literally 15% volume growth was last year, and that's almost 3 times what we had actually planned to grow. So that the flow through to the bottom line is very fast if you do better than planned, and which are the two basic reasons why we did extremely well last year.
So savings on cost, because sugar prices actually.
Yes.
But in terms of on the demand and consumption side.
Oh, terrific. There are two reasons. One is that. On the demand and consumption side, the Philippines is a great consumption story.
Yes.
The thing we have to always bear in mind, and I think our company is very conscious of, is that there is an affordability factor here. And if you want to be a company, and which we want to be a company which makes products for the entire 100 million population, then we have to be very, very cost conscious, and that's what we've been also. And we continue to bring out offerings which are affordable by the entire population. And that people at the various spectrums of the population. On one hand, we have a Tropicana Cocoa Quench, which sells at 30 to 35 pesos for a single serve.
That's the coconut
water.
drink.
Yeah, coconut water.
Juice.
Yeah.
Cocoa juice.
Yeah.
We have
It's very good, that part.
Gatorade at 32 pesos. And then we have on the other side the Pepsi 8 ounce. Single serve 8 ounce bottle at 5 pesos there.
5 pesos.
And recently we launched powders, Mirinda Fun Mix. And that is on a single serve basis.
Powdered?
Powdered beverage.
Drink.
Powdered beverage?
Yeah. So you can see from a single serve price, it ranges from less than 5 to all the way to 35. It's a wide spectrum of price which people pay.
How much is the per capita soft drinks consumption of the Filipino? How many bottles per year of 8 ounces?
The carbonated soft drink is about 150, is roughly about 150, 145 to 150, which is very high.
150 ounces?
8 ounce bottles.
150 bottles?
Yeah, 8 ounce.
8 ounce equivalent.
Equivalent serving. Now, it's a little less than 150, but it is very high compared to the rest of Asia, similar profile countries. I think if I'm not mistaken, countries like India and Pakistan are at 10 to 20 10 to 20, yeah, 10 to 20.
10 to
There are countries at 30 level, 30, you know. So for carbonated soft drink per capita consumption is pretty high in the
How
Philippines.
does it compare with the U.S. consumption?
Oh, it's much lower than U.S.
How
I
much
think the
lower?
U.S., if I'm not I don't have the number, but it will be about 500, 600 maybe. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, it'll be much more. I'm not very clear on those numbers, but it's way, way more.
How about China?
Oh, it's higher than China on a per capita basis.
Higher than China.
China, on a per capita
You
consumption.
came from Vietnam. How does it compare with Vietnam?
Much more than Vietnam on a
Much
per
more
capita
than
consumption.
Vietnam.
Vietnam,
So-
when I left it, it was about 15, 17 per capita.
Really?
Yeah, it's very low. But
So ours is almost 10 times. You know?
yeah, it's a very high per capita.
So it's a good assignment for you, Philippines.
Yeah, but it's growing. I don't believe it's saturated. You know, it's not that once it's
not
so
mature.
high. It's not mature. One is, of course, you've got an increasing population base. You know, so there is the consumption story is a growth story here. You know, so it's not that it's saturated and it's not growing.
And the cola consumption is only one half of the business, no?
No,
The other
ours is
half
one third. Cola for us is we are less dependent on cola than a lot of other companies.
It's only 1/3 of the business.
Yeah, it's about 1/3 of the business.
The other 2/3 is what?
Well, we have Gatorade, which is and we dominate the sports drink.
Gatorade is number 1.
Gatorade is it's the number 1 sports drink in this country, and it I believe has year after year is actually been labeled as among the top 12 brands. I think the 12th most popular brand in this country. And then we have Tropicana, which I believe
Orange juice.
orange juice, and all juices. And even the coconut water is under Tropicana. We have other flavors we try out, and you know we've got, but orange is a large part of it. And there, I think we are among the leading brand in the country from a juice point of view. And then we have Lipton iced tea, which
Lipton is yours.
Lipton iced tea is with us. And
You're number 1 in iced tea?
no, we are not.
You are
CQ
not.
is number 1 by far. You know, we are not. But we have presence in each of.
But you're number 2 in iced tea?
Well, I see. Look, our Lipton focus has been largely on on-premise businesses. Okay, it is not as
on retail.
yeah, it's
Not
on
the
retail.
bring home
Not-
bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We are there, but it's not as big.
You were caught off guard by C2. No?
Yeah, well, C2 did a
But
great
you
job.
have
in this
Lipton
country.
iced tea drink.
Lipton iced tea drink is that.
Yeah.
Lipton iced
Lipton
tea.
is a great brand.
Yes, it's a great
First
brand.
class, premium quality.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. So all our brands are iconic actually, and then we have in the energy segment Sting, which is Sting, and then of course we have other carbonated soft drink brands, which is Mountain Dew is flavors, carbonated flavors. 7-Up is ours, Mug, and Mirinda. So we actually are spread over 8 or 9 brands, you know, in this country.
But
So
considering
your
Partho-
product
yeah.
is actually divided into carbonated and non-carbonated.
Non-carbonated,
So are you now focusing a little bit more, expanding? Where are you expanding on the carbonated and non-carbonated?
Go a little back on this, you know. In 2008, one of the significant things we did was we did an IPO. And
Yeah.
one of the things was to raise funds to expand our non-carbonated portfolio and to support that. And then we had studies like Gatorade, where it was the 12th most popular brand in this country, but it was not generating as much sales as it should. So we did a research and we tried to find out why did this not work. The survey was focusing on that. How come more people are not having it? And the answer became very clear. Is about affordability and availability.
When you were expensive.
Gatorade, yes, at $32 a bottle. It's
You are
very
more expensive than Red Bull.
Yeah. So what we did is we actually did the IPO to raise money to take out a product like Gatorade in returnable glass. Okay? And now we can sell that at 10 pesos. Now, that's a terrific
When you
thing.
return the glass.
Yeah. No, it's a returnable glass. It's a return is built
So
into
you
the
lower your
system.
cost.
Yeah, we lower
I mean,
lower
it's
the
like
cost.
20 years
that's
return
right.
lifetime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we actually brought down the Gatorade
good,
and made it
recycle
available
it.
at 10 pesos. We did the same with Tropicana, with Lipton iced tea, and with Sting Energy. So,
Okay.
so our focus for the last 5 years, if you look at it, has largely been on growing a non-carbonated portfolio, but without neglecting our base carbonated portfolio, because you cannot neglect one and do the other.
Right. Okay, we're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So Partho, the trends now are moving more towards non-carbonated health drinks. Describe the industry in general and then PepsiCo's strategy.
So our strategy, the industry trend is obviously going to go more towards non-carbonated because the options are far more today than it has been in the past in the non-carbonated beverages. In the past, I would imagine most companies focused on driving carbonated soft drink sales, and that's what helped the product reach to the extremes of the country and develop sales. But today, a lot of non-carbonated options are coming in affordable formats across the country, and we are actually proud to be a pioneer in that effort because I just go back 6 or 7 years ago. The cheapest non-carbonated you could get was a juice drink for about 22 pesos a bottle. And this whole packaging, all the non-carbonated into returnable glass and making it affordable was a large part of the PCPPI story. Okay, so from 2006 onwards, we have been making available products which are typically available at 20-25 into prices of 10.
You mean packaging was 60% of cost? Retail cost?
A large part of it. Packaging is a large part of the cost, you know. And of course we hope to get scale, and that's how we recover the cost. And so it's in the last 5 years. So earlier, if you would look at it, there was a carbonated soft drink which was available at 5 to 7 pesos maybe, and there were non-carbonated option for a person who was at 20. So we brought it down to 10, okay? And I think that's a reasonable price to be at, you know? So at this 10 pesos, our consumer has a choice of either going for the carbonated or the non-carbonated.
You have your own plastic bottle plant?
No, we don't make preforms ourselves.
San Miguel does it for you?
San Miguel
one bottle is used how many times? 5 times?
A returnable glass bottle? Oh, about 40-50 times.
50 times?
Yes. That's what allows you to give value to a country.
That means the bottle is almost worthless.
Or rather,
Yeah.
the consumer,
Yeah.
the cost-conscious consumer in Philippines does not pay for the packaging. They pay only for the, they pay very little for the packaging.
liquid.
They pay mainly for the liquid. And that's why we can afford
So
to
your
give it.
recycling and distribution is really quite incredible.
Yes, in returnable glass, it's a skill to build, and which also becomes a kind of an entry barrier for anyone else who wants to come in.
Right.
Because not too many people can do this large scale.
How large is your distribution? How many outlets here in the Philippines?
Yeah, we
You've
try
got
to
several.
little more. Yeah. So I think the Philippines is supposed to have more than 1 million outlets, and
Sari
stores, Sari stores, which is the main thing. And we are there in 500,000 of them.
Half of it.
Half of it, which I look at it as the opportunity. So a while ago, people asked me, how come your sales are doing so well? And one of the main reasons, and we'll come to the other ones later, is this reach. We're just going to places we've never been before, and you're welcome with open arms when you go there. You can't stop me from going there. And we're only
How do
halfway
you
there.
create and reach all these new markets? What do you offer for the distributors down the line?
Well, one is that we have to invest in this returnable glass and coolers and trucks and mechanized distribution
Logistics management.
Logistics management. So we have to get it to this place. Remember, logistically it's a very challenged country with 7,100 islands and
separate
in a returnable glass.
EVP for logistics now.
And
an EVP for sales.
So and so it is a big challenge getting this across there, you know, and we manage that. We've developed that art, and so it's a with 500,000 and 500,000 more to go. I don't see top line growth as an issue.
So the potential is only 50% so far.
And you have to go back to why we are only 50% compared to, I mean, we should have been a lot more. But you have to go back a bit to our history, which is captured in the book, but I'll just give you a brief thing that somewhere in the late 90s, this business was taken over by a Hong Kong-based investor called Woco, who came in with a lot of enthusiasm, but soon lost interest in the FMCG sector in the Philippines.
The word for that is fizzled out.
Fizzled out. And they've been actually on the lookout to exit the business. And they were very good partners, considering they actually were not interested in the future of business, but clearly they did not believe in investing to expand beyond to reach all 1 million outlets.
Yes.
And I think strategically, about 3 years ago, when we got Lotte of Korea in to replace them, and that was a big move. And I think we're both Lotte and PepsiCo do believe that success in the future depends
Lotte,
on...
how much did it buy?
They bought 34% of the stake.
Worth how much at that
I think
time?
they entered at 3.5 pesos per share.
3.5. They bought at IPO price.
Yeah, at IPO price.
So they're now making money today.
Well, I think their view is a lot more long term. I don't think they're interested in,
Should be
trading
doing
on.
at least 15% per year.
Yeah. I think they are very committed, along with PepsiCo, to drive distribution and increase our reach and invest behind that.
How much have you invested in the last 3 years?
Well, last 2 years, our capex has been close to $100 million a year.
$100 million,
which is publicly available, So it's $80 to $100 million a year we've been investing. Almost half of that is on sales and distribution infrastructural assets. And that's what the story is, why we weren't there in the first place and why we are rapidly getting there. And nobody can stop me from going to these places. And when we go there, we are welcome with open arms, saying, where were you the last 20 years,
And PepsiCo also invests in communities where you actually work in. So what kind of investments in terms of, because the distribution and logistics is really mind-boggling. So tell us what types of, what impact you have had on these communities, especially when it goes down to the grassroots.
It's interesting you ask that because, what I love, one of the things we love about our business is that it is, it's a very labor-intensive business. So you've got loaders and people driving trikes and motorcycles and trucks.
How many people are employed
directly in our facilities will be about 5,000 people. But that's a huge multiplier.
About the retail outlet,
because remember there are the distributors and then there are I mean, the multiplier effect is huge in this industry. So, and they all depend on the livelihood for this. If I was making a computer chip, the number of people dependent would be very, very less. Now, in a country like Philippines, it's very, very relevant, So there's a huge chain of people who make money using our products, The sari store makes money, the loader makes money, the transporter, the truck driver makes money. They all
so can you describe the whole chain, the whole value chain, from when you bottle? All the way to when it reaches the sari store.
So we...
But it's very difficult to attribute the sales contribution of Pepsi to a sari store. Pepsi carries probably what?
A lot of products. The beverage is a large part of what they carry. Beverage is a significant...
You sell more than e-load?
Beverage is a significant part of the sari stores. He sells a lot of other things. I'm sure if you talk to people in Unilever and Procter & Gamble, they'll say the same thing. But beverage is a good part of what they sell. Food and beverage is a large part of it. And so our the chain really starts from the factory.
From your bottling, so you have like a lot of
it goes to the warehouse. It goes to the warehouse. We use third-party transporters and distributors, and these are semi-entrepreneurial in the sense they make money out of a margin, and they take the trucks and they go and deliver into the stores, and so it's a huge network.
How many trucks do you have?
I think as a system we'll be having 3,500 trucks,
3,500.
As a system, and that is the whole system, and there are a lot of people who
you are a transport system by yourself.
Well, you have to get the product.
There are not that many bus operators with 3,500 units.
Company in it.
But we don't own these assets directly. We support and through a network.
That you contract out. All right, we're going to continue this discussion. We'll be right back. You're watching BizNews.
So, Partho, are you saying that the business can double?
Well, we will be, it can double in the sense we have double-digit growth plans.
It's what, 14 billion pesos, huh?
My soft drink sales last year was 23 billion pesos.
No, but that includes one-third that is non-carbonated.
So, look, we have a plan. The plans we have laid out are to grow double digits year after year. I think the soft drinks consumption should go slightly better than the economic growth which is planned, and that's because of the number of people who consumption forward. Yes, that should happen.
And that's very high compared to global trends, no?
Yes, and there are two reasons. Two, three reasons. One is, of course, there's a Philippine consumption story, which we have immense faith in. The population is growing. It's a growing population and a young population. We are not there in the million outlets. We are going to go to more and more places and make ourselves available, and that should give us better share than those who are already there.
You are growing by how many outlets per year? When you were here,
50 to 70,000 outlets
per year.
Oh, wow.
So you recruit what, 700 outlets per month?
If you back calculate it, but it's not the way. If I identify white areas and go in that way. And the fourth thing is, of course, we bring in newer offerings and new products. And I want to spend just a few minutes talking about that. If you look at the last year, in a year like last year, I think we introduced something called Gatorade Low Carb, which is a light version of Gatorade.
Local?
Low carb.
Low carb.
This is a light version of Gatorade.
You mean
we
you-
introduced Sting Malunggay empowered Sting with
Malunggay,
molecule as an
Oh, really?
endorser. Yeah, and that did very well. And then we introduced Tropicana Coco Quench. Okay, as an in and out, which is
Very good in Coco Quench.
Yeah. And then as an in and out, we also introduced Pepsi Pogi, which is actually a golden colored Pepsi, just for 6 weeks. Just to excite
Pepsi
the people.
Pogi for young
Just to
punks.
excite people. Just to excite, create some excitement
How
in
did
the.
that work?
No,
In
it just created
8-ounce
some
bottle
interest-
or in
in 8-ounce
can?
bottle and PET pack.
How did it do?
It was never supposed to do great volumes. It was supposed to excite and create
Yeah.
some excitement in the industry.
Great bus, yeah.
And then we later we also introduced Lotte from the Lotte portfolio. We introduced Milkis, which is a cream soda, you know. And then recently we introduced Mirinda and Fun Mix, which is a powdered beverage. Now all this in the last 10 months, and there are a couple of others also, you know. I'm just saying that I don't think of any other company who take out so many product offerings in a span of less than a year.
Yeah.
Okay?
So
And this
that's about a
continues.
total of what? 6 products.
I think more than that. We take Milkis, we took a SB coffee, which is a
You
small...
introduce one product every month in the last 10 months?
Yeah, we introduced, well, almost a product at least once in every 2 months, coming out with a new offering. Some of them stay, some of them just do their role of making some excitement and moving on.
Which became the most promising? Coco Quench.
Coco Quench is very promising. The Malunggay, which thing is
So
a very
those
promising...
those are raw
yeah,
materials.
yeah.
Raw materials also are sourced from here?
Yes,
Or like,
yes,
so
largely.
the
The
cocoa
sugar-
juice would be...
Yes, very much here.
Very
Much
good.
from here. From,
So in terms of your impact actually for livelihood, you also do CSR because PepsiCo is a really huge
Yes.
company with very large distribution,
Yeah.
very large reach.
Yeah.
So your impact is positive, and there are some also where you're also, since in transport, there's a lot of, what are you doing with saving the environment, with emission-free or vehicles?
Well, we haven't done much, to be honestly, apart from buying with compliant vehicles.
Done much yet.
Yeah, not much yet.
In terms of
except for the
impact,
fact we buy compliant
I think-
vehicles, all emission compliant vehicles.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that we, so all our vehicles are compliant with Euro 2 norms
Yes.
or whatever it is. And that's the, so far that's all we can ensure.
But I think in terms of impact, Pepsi was the first to sense the trend towards health foods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Globally it was.
Yeah.
And we play to that over here also.
Yeah.
And I think it's excellent. We can't control which way the industry will go.
Yeah.
But what we can do is make sure that every person has a low-cost health option, healthy beverage option.
So you cannot be blamed for obesity.
Obviously, you know, anything which in excess
Yeah.
will create it. And, you know, if I have my 4th cup of coffee, you know, there are a lot of people who say,
Yeah.
there's
But
every product.
your impact is quite large, also on the environment, because
Yes, it is. So okay, let me talk about one of the CSR projects since you've been there's this project we've done jointly with PepsiCo called the Liter of Light. Okay, and basically it uses PET bottles.
Yes.
Okay,
PET
and
bottles.
PET bottles,
Yes.
and it takes the PET bottles and puts chlorine in it, and it lights up the shanties free of power.
Really?
Yeah. You know, it basically reflects.
What chemical makes the light?
There's a chlorine
Chlorine makes the light?
as the spark.
Coca-Cola
Refracting
on the-
with,
on the
So the whole
roof.
idea is to put a hole on the roof of the shanty, and if I'm not mistaken, they've done 28,000 such bulbs already. And there's huge amount of power savings as well as savings in the cost of bulbs.
It's the same concept as in the light vest,
Yeah.
which when we touches water, it lights up.
I don't know. I don't know if it's here. It's a reflection through the hole on the roof, which comes down and lights the shanty. So it's a great way because it takes care of the PET bottle. You know, it provides use for the PET bottle in the shanties. And second thing is it brings down the power cost as well as the cost of getting the bulb.
Then you can read with the reflected light?
Yes, you
Oh,
can.
huh?
You can. So the shanties get lit up during the daytime. There's no light in these shanties, so they get lit up to this. So this is a project which Pepsi actually give a lot of publicity to, you know,
yes.
and
It wants some
How many
awards.
households have you
Yeah.
reached out?
Yes.
Huh?
How many households have you
More
reached
than
out?
20,000 households.
28,000 such
28,000, that's quite big.
and there's lots more to go, you know, there's lots more. I mean, this is a huge potential in terms, and
There's a more
and our
than-
role was really to create so much visibility about it, so that people understand that with a small level of contribution, you can actually bring in light.
And
in
how much is
somebody's
it
house.
costing you per bottle?
Oh, these bottles are used bottles. It doesn't
It's
have
an
yeah,
empty,
yeah.
it's an empty bottle.
that's the You know, that's the recycling story
Yes,
we're talking
that's
about,
right.
because these are,
Mm.
years
The
and years
PET bottles
to
are
disintegrate.
different from your recyclable bottle of 20 to 50 times? Or
No,
the same?
the glass bottles are different. This is not glass bottle, this is the plastic bottles we're using.
But you have recycling programs, large recycling programs.
Yeah, all over the
for
world, all over
that.
the world. Over here, our PET, we have developed strategies to increase our returnable glass bottle. So PET as a mix, I would say, it's about 10 to 15% of our mix, a very small part of our
How
mix.
much do you charge for deposit for the bottle?
So glass deposit,
Yeah.
a very small sum. I think it's about
5
4 or
pesos.
5 pesos per
But
bottle.
PET is just 10%?
Yeah, 10 to 15%. I think others are doing better than us in that. So it's not very big for us, and honestly, I wish we were selling more of it. But our mix of PET is relatively small as compared to most
Which
other
is cheaper
players.
to produce, glass bottle or PET?
Glass much more, because you can use the glass
glass.
so many times. It takes less electricity to
And
make.
glass gives the product how long a shelf
That's
life?
better, actually.
Longer?
The carbonation storage is far better in glass.
better.
Obviously, I mean, PET will have leakage.
Pepsi is good on the shelf for how many days? 2 weeks?
No, much more than that.
Oh,
In the
longer.
shelf life. Yeah, it's about, on a PET format, it's about 6 months in a good condition.
Is it true? Pepsi is the only cola that you can drink without ice. Still tastes good.
All right, before you
I think
answer that, we're going to cut to a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So you're going to ask whether you want to drink your Pepsi with
Yeah.
better with...
So is it better to? Is it true Pepsi is the only cola that you can drink without ice and still tastes good? That's good.
It tastes good with ice, without ice. I think taste-wise it beats any other cola.
Because now summer, no? Summer is what? 1/3 of sales, no?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
more.
large part, more than that.
More than that.
More than
40% of
that.
sales.
Yeah, March to June is a big thing.
And this summer, sales has been very good.
Yeah, so far. So far it's been good.
Better than previous summers.
I think so.
This is the best summer ever of Pepsi.
No. We can do better, I'm sure.
Partho, I wanted to ask you about this growing emerging trend about functional drinks. Drinks that would,
Functional drink.
Functional drinks, that means like there's a drink that is an anti-inflammatory drink, anti-hangover drink, those kind of things.
Yeah, I see functional drinks as anything which brings in a functional benefit. Okay, and really top of mind comes in two of our products. One is Gatorade,
Yes.
and of course the other is Propel, which is a vitamin water really. Propel. It's a vitamin water.
Vitamin water.
Yeah, and of course cocoa water itself is a functional beverage. So there is an emerging trend there. But remember, in our country, the challenge in this is to bring it at an affordable price. Because remember, functional beverages, anything which moves to a new trend is not going to have the scale to make it affordable.
Yes.
Okay? So we managed it with Gatorade by giving it at 10 pesos. I'm just saying, our Coco Quench is at 30 pesos.
Cocoa Quench is
How
very
would it-
expensive in Tetra Pak.
Yeah, so how do I
Can you
get
not
it?
put that in a bottle?
Tetra Pak is an expensive packet, and remember,
Tetra Pak probably is 2/3 of the cost.
yeah, but remember, that's a vital part of the cost, because when you open a coconut, okay, the water starts losing its properties. And you have to quickly capture it in aseptic condition and preserve those for you to drink it later.
Yeah.
So it's a very vital part of it. You
Can
can't do
put
without
it in
it.
a bottle?
Well, not without preservatives, and our larger degree of
Preservative
preservatives.
So
put
it's
in-
fresh if it's in a Tetra Pak.
Yeah, it's as good as fresh as it's in a Tetra Pak. And it's a challenge bringing these functional drinks down in a returnable package, which would make it cheaper. It's not easy to bring it in the cheaper packages.
One single
And,
use,
yeah. So the best we have managed so far is getting Tropicana juice and Gatorade at 10 peso bottle. That's the best we could do.
You're gonna do it with Cocoa Quench.
It'll be difficult to do it in that, or even a Propel, which is a vitamin water.
But sales of Cocoa Quench are very good.
It's
You're
very
number
good.
one in the
Remember,
cocoa water business.
yeah, but there hasn't been anyone else really, seriously.
Are you a monopoly in cocoa water?
No, there are small players, 7 small players. I don't think anyone else with such a big brand has come in and managed to...
So your only
take a-
competitor is the ambulant cocoa juice vendor.
Buko juice vendor.
Buko juice
vendor. It's a tough competition. It's a tough competition.
You can't get
You know?
more
How much
fresh.
sales are you doing with Cocoa Quench?
It's not easy to manage that.
But
The
you have to
convenience.
promote that. Not everybody is aware that you have Cocoa Quench.
Yeah, we try and we keep doing that. And one of the things which always plagues us is that the nameplate on our door is Pepsi, and not too many people relate us to all the other products which we
But
do.
it's not obvious that it is made by Pepsi, the Cocoa Quench.
if you look at the package, you'll find that there'll be something there, but it's a fine print.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Is that deliberate?
No, it's not deliberate at all, and I think we will work towards that. We will work towards that. There are some ideas I got, we got that how we increase awareness that these all come from the...
Cocoa juice, buko juice, there's some unsavory image sometimes. It could be dirty.
In the product?
So if you put the name Pepsi, then there's a guarantee of quality.
Oh, yes, yes. And Tropicana itself is a big brand name. I think the way why I'd like to get everything under the Pepsi umbrella is I think there needs to be a lot more awareness of the wide range of products we make available, and that we are just not a Pepsi. I find it strange because wherever I go, people ask me, how are you doing against your competitor? And they always have the cola in mind. And I'm thinking, look, there is a lot to us than just the cola.
So we have how many drinks in all? Carbonated and non-carbonated?
Well, we have, in carbonated,
20?
we have, no, totally, we've got 8 or 9 brands. We've got 9 brands, really. And in carbonated, we have really Pepsi, Mountain Dew, 7-Up, Mirinda. And in non-carbonated, we have Tropicana as a brand for Cocoa Quench, as well as for orange juice. And we have Gatorade, we've got Propel, we've got Lipton, we've got Sting. So
but that's what actually differentiates you from the rival, because you're looking at not just cola or carbonated.
Absolutely, and we want to keep it that way, and our focus without neglecting our core. Because,
Partho, you will scare the daylights of Coke out of Coke.
No, I don't think so. They have a different strategy and they have their own.
Are you
But this time they are facing the more serious challenge yet from Pepsi.
I think, look, we are not competing with anyone in any sector. As I said, our strategy is very, very clear. We go out and reach as many of the million outlets we can get there. Okay? Because we haven't been there, we are going there, we're going to go out and reach there. Secondly, we are going to bring in newer and newer, more innovative offerings. Okay? And we're going to try and get these innovative offerings to as many of these outlets. It's very important we go to these outlets because our product portfolio is a lot more diverse than anyone else. So chances are, if I'm in the 800,000th outlet in the country, there's a good chance that Gatorade will get there, and people will have that option. If you really go to these outlets, you have place just to keep one cola, probably.
So what are you doing with the meat of the coconut that you buy?
No, that's not. It's the other way around.
You just get the juice, the water.
The person, we just take the water. Okay.
And who gets the meat of the coconut?
Our partners.
They don't convert it into frito or snaps?
No, not at all. Not at all. We just take the water. And that's good because it enhances the value of the coconut so much. I believe until a few years ago, this was all, wasted. It was not used. And today there's a huge industry. PepsiCo, by the way, imports the cocoa water from here and sells it in the US. The ONE.
It's from here.
Is that the one that
Brazil imports from here.
Is that the one that President Aquino crowd about when he went there? It's a Pepsi product.
Absolutely.
And it came from the Philippines?
Yes, it came from Philippines.
Why do they call it one?
One natural entitlement. It was not originally set up by Pepsi, it was by another person. And PepsiCo bought
so you have rebranded it as Cocoa Quench?
No, Cocoa Quench is for only the Philippines.
But it provided a lot of livelihood also for coconut farmers.
Amazing. And I know, they were always selling the coconut water. It's just that they were always selling the coconut, except now the value of the coconut has gone up so much because the water is finding its way into...
how many drinks you can make with one coconut?
Yeah, Brazil, US.
India, no.
Well, there are many more in the pipeline, but as of now, this is what's happened.
You source the coconut from here?
From here.
From the Philippines?
Oh, here, very much, Best place for coconut.
And you are not credited for that, the exports? It's another
it doesn't
company?
matter. The system gets it. The system gets it. We do, through our contract manufacturer, our co-packer, which...
In Latin America, they are crazy for coconut drink?
Yeah, but they have their own source of coconut.
Are they going loco on cocoa?
I don't know much about it, but I know Brazil likes it, so they take lots of it. So.
Yeah, it's part of the ambience culture of Brazil.
So will you be looking at innovative drinks such as like Cocoa Quench, sourcing locally from the country that you work in, like here in the Philippines?
But the Cocoa Quench itself, on the cocoa water, this is just the beginning. You can have...
How many units are you selling of Cocoa Quench?
You won't relate to the units, because it's an industry term.
No, but one Tetra Pak is 30 pesos. How many such Tetra Paks are you selling right now?
Multiply a lot, But let's put it this way. It's made about a fifth of our Tropicana sales is from Coco Quench, or about a fourth of it.
25%.
Yeah, and remember, we're only 6 months in, right? Or
Just 6 months
in,
in.
yeah. So there's a huge opportunity. So I would not want to quantify and bring down the thing at this
Say
stage.
notice, you can finish 3 of that in one night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very easy. So you probably had something to drink before that. It's very easy. You know?
Oh, and it's good price at 30 pesos because the buko juice from coconut is already 20 pesos from the
And you can, and this is more convenient. You can chill it.
Yeah.
And it's convenient. Unlikely after you come back from the gym, you start starting with coconut.
It's best
but
chilled,
you
I think.
definitely check it out.
Yeah.
It tastes better when
Tastes
chilled.
better chilled.
It's amazing that you're sourcing the raw products here, and then you're exporting and helping actually the farmers.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, we're going to cut to a short break. You're watching BizNews. We'll be right back.
Signalizing the chocolatey way with new Stanley Coffee Frappuccino. Delicious Stanley coffee blended with rich cocoa powder. Be todo listo every day. New Stanley Coffee Frappuccino ang super kape. Bilang isang global Filipino, pipili ako ng pinunong mag-aangat sa ating galing at talento.
Nasa kamay mo ang katuparan ng pangarap ng bawat Pilipino. Boto mo para sa pagbabago. Makibahagi, makiisa, makialam sa Hatol ng Bayan.
Come back. So, Partho, what can Filipinos look forward to from PepsiCo in terms of innovative products?
I think you will find, I think the last 12 months were not unique, this number of products we brought in. You will see in the next 12 months also and thereafter that we will bring in more and more innovative products.
Healthier drinks?
Healthier drinks, definitely, and functional drinks. And you'll find that we are not scared of cannibalizing our own sales. So, for example, if I were to get in a Coco Quench, and if all my Pepsi consumers left and joined Coco Quench, I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm not defending anything. So when you're not afraid of cannibalizing your own self, you are always looking for innovative ways.
It's a different way of thinking.
Different way of. There is nothing always or ever forever about any of our products, you know. And you will see that over the next 12 to 18 months, how many more products will come in, you know. That's the first thing. The second thing is we want to be a company which serves the entire spectrum of the 100 million consumer. So the 100 millionth consumer will also find some value from us. And that's why we want to go to all the 1 million outlets. You know, so maybe they'll buy a Pepsi, or maybe they'll buy a Mirinda Fun Mix, or a powder, which by the way lends itself to a lot of, fortification and value addition. And at the higher end, you will have products which are also, affordable only at the higher end.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to be a company which
How much is the,
all the 100 million
how much the
people.
powder? 5 pesos?
I think the per serve price comes to about 2 pesos. Then you value it with water.
You can make 2 bottles out of a packet.
Yeah,
And
something
that's
like
actually
that.
good.
About
That's
a liter.
good for you.
Each
Yeah.
of the sachets can make a liter. So for 205 bottles, 5 glasses out of each sachet, and the sachet is about 9 or 10 pesos. You know, so it's really very, and you can fortify these. You know, you get there, you start there. The amount of potential to powders is huge. You know. And remember, powder is even better because the carrying costs and lots of other costs have got stripped off and made it very, very
But all
affordable.
your best sellers are still retail, not institutional restaurants,
Still retail.
and supermarkets.
Supermarkets, and for us, it's the sari stores.
Still,
By
they account for
volume.
what?
For
40%
huge
of the
volume.
business?
Yeah, huge
Sorry,
volume. Yeah, sari stores is a big part of our business.
Half of the business?
No, about 70%.
70%?
70-75%. This is a product which is drunk by everybody. You know, it's not a elite
That
product.
means you have 500,000 headache every day?
It's not a
How come
headache.
you look so cheerful?
It's not a headache.
Huh?
It's not a headache.
Because of
Actually,
Coco
getting the
Quench?
It's providing profits for Partho.
I mean, more than it's providing profits. It's true because people
Yes.
all around need options, you know. And as we expand our reach, you find how welcome we are in this country, you know, and that's what's exciting us.
And you also provide livelihood. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
You do.
huge amount of
So
livelihood.
congratulations,
Yeah.
Partho, for mounting the greatest challenge ever against Coke.
It's not against Coke. It's not against Coke. We're doing our thing.
Okay.
Thank you, Partho, for being on our show.
Well,
Wish you more success and more power.
Congratulations, Partho. You're posing the greatest challenge, Pepsi challenge ever to Coke.
Well,
And you're conquering new territory. Yeah.
thank you. A challenge to all beverage competitors.
So buy not only Pepsi products, but the shares themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've watched another episode of BizNews. I'm Elizabeth Lee, together with Tony Lopez. See us every Thursday at 8 p.m. We'll see you again next week. Have a good night. God bless. Thanks for joining us.